Hi, I'm A.C.Strange, and this is the Bad Movie Show, Episode 9, the Action Show! Yay! In Episode 1, I told you about my movie-loving background, and I told you that my mom loves action movies. My mom loves action movies. I was basically raised on them. I am not kidding. She would ask me about the actors in the movies and what other movies they did. So that's pretty much why I know as much about movies as I know. She actually tested me. I'm not kidding. So, this episode I'm doing some action movies. Sorry, Mom, no Chuck Norris tonight. But, in action movies, the killers that we follow are the good guys. And usually the body count is triple to quadruple of any horror movie you'll ever see. So action movies are badass. And while we're talking about action, let's start with the king, shall we? Sylvester Stallone, baby! Sylvester Stallone, Expendables. 2010 rated R Lionsgate film, screenplay by David Callahan and Sylvester Stallone, directed by Sylvester Stallone, and starring Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Jet Li, Dolph Lundgren, Randy Couture, Terry Crews, Steve Austin, Eric Roberts, with cameos by Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mickey Rourke, and Bruce Willis. Are you freaking kidding me? That's awesome. Okay? So in this movie, Barney Ross and his gnarly roughneck mercenaries take a job from the CIA, which their guy's played by Bruce Willis, which is a trip through hell. Okay? Barney and his right-hand man, Christmas, they go to this small island country that is being terrorized and enslaved by their general, who's being controlled by an evil drug lord. Okay? So Barney and Christmas, they go down to this country to do some recon, and they fail miserably, leaving behind their contact a beautiful woman named Sandra. Okay? After a whole bunch of fight scenes, Barney Ross decides to go back to the country to go save this girl who's being tortured. Okay? And after these fight scenes, which one of the best fight scenes I ever seen is in this movie with Dolph Lundgren and Jet Li, where really they're kicking the living crap out of each other. Dolph Lundgren is a giant, okay, and Jet Li's like 5 foot, and they're like this, fighting each other. Dolph Lundgren's just picking him up like a doll and smashing him on things. It's awesome! Awesome. After that fight scene, him and his guys go down to the island country where all hell breaks loose. There are crazy explosions in this. There are so many fight scenes where in this movie there's like one really great fight scene where you think in another movie the movie would end. The camera pulls back and moves over to the next fight scene. This happens about 7 times. It's incredible. Okay? Just outrageous. This movie is not my favorite Sylvester Stallone movie, but definitely my favorite ensemble movies. This one, and there is a 2, they're great. Okay, they're kick-ass. The acting's a little so-so, and there's a part where Mickey Rourke tattoos without gloves on, and that's kind of corny. But you forgive that with all the explosions and just people ripping throats out and twisting heads around. It's freaking awesome! I'm gonna give this a 4, and any action fan should own this. Okay? Without a doubt. This sets the new standard for action, and anything that comes after this has to hold a candle to it. I'm sorry. This is the franchise of kings. All of these guys, they had their own movies, and they're all in this together, and they all bring something different, which makes this a 4. Okay? It's just awesome. There are some things that, you know, they lack, but it really, all these guys together just kicking ass, great, and Dolph Lundgren is awesome in the movie. He stands out for me, so Yay! And I love Stallone, so get prepared. Get ready, guys, because you're getting a whole bunch of them. Alright, next up, Wake of Death. Jean-Claude Van Damme, buddy. And in a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, oh, you need a Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bubba. Alright, Wake of Death, rated R, 2004, First Look Studios, written by Philip Martinez, Lauren Fellows, and Mick Davis. I know that this is a multi-pack, but I'm reviewing this one, Wake of Death. Okay, we'll get to the rest at another time. Alright, so this is about Ben Archer, who's like a mob enforcer, contract killer for the mob, and he leaves the life respectedly to spend more time with his wife and his son. Now, his wife works for the INS, and she gets caught up in this case where she takes this little Chinese girl home with her. Now, it's important to know that Ben Archer's wife is a white woman who was adopted by a Chinese family. So she knows Chinese, she knows their culture and everything, and it's important in the movie because when he's fighting the Kingpin, he knows some stuff, so, you know, that's why he knows it. Anyway, at dinner with her family, her parents, her son, and the girl, the mob, the Chinese mafia, comes down and kills Mrs. Archer and her and her parents. The girl saves Ben's son and gets away. He basically, the girl starts all kinds of trouble for him, and he does anything he can to save his son. Right? He's so pissed off that you at one point feel bad for the bad guys. Okay? He realigns with his family and his friends to exact revenge on this Chinese kingpin, right? There is a really great love scene in this. It's kind of hot, where you're like, whoa, go Jean-Claude. And then there's a brilliant torture scene in this, where Ben finds one of the guys responsible for his wife's murder, and he brings him to his uncle's house, right? Now, Ben gets a phone call and he has to leave. But his uncle and his uncle's friend, who are two very old men, one of them's in a wheelchair with an oxygen tank, they get this guy in this chair and they start to torture him. They're like, we don't even care what you tell us. We're gonna they just drill holes in him randomly. It's freaking phenomenal. It's like one of those where you're on top of your chair like, ah! It's great. This gets a 4. It's intense. It's mean. Like I said, you feel bad for the bad guys. He's pissed off. I love Jean-Claude like this. I really do. Anyway, so I give this a 4 and a C. Yay, Jean-Claude Van Damme kicks ass. So last but not least, my oldie but goodie. Ready for this? It's Action Jackson! That's right, buddy! Action Jackson, rated R, 1988, Silver Pictures Productions. Written by Robert Renaud, directed by Craig R. Baxley, and starring Carl Wethers, Vanity, Craig T. Nielsen, and Sharon Stone, who I love, who I think is probably one of the most beautiful women in the world. Okay, so in this, Sergeant Jericho Action Jackson is a really good cop that gets demoted for basically beating this guy within an inch of his life. Now, this guy is the son of an auto tycoon, a very powerful man named Peter Delaplane, who has people killed to gain political power. And Action is trying to solve the murder of his friend Tony, and in so he gets involved with Delaplane's wife and mistress. Then Action Jackson framed for a couple of murders that he did not commit. And the action's on. This is action-packed. We get to see Carl Wethers like half naked. We stop spouting the corniest 80s lines possible. After 25 years, this is still fun to see. And I remember seeing this when it first came out, and it's just as good now. I give this a 3 and I see it again. Okay? This is fun, and time stood still in this movie. The hairdos, the clothes, the really bad music that kills me. But it's still good. And I don't know, my mom loves him. I don't know anybody's mother who does not love Carl Wethers. So, rock on! So that was my show tonight. What did you think? Do you have what do you think? Do you have a favorite episode of the Bad Movie Show so far? And if you do, please let me know. What do you think? Do you have any movies or any themes that you think I should do? I don't think this is just my show. I think of it more of our show. And if you could think of anything that'll make our show better, please let me know. And keep watching. And as always, watch more movies. I'm A.C.Strange, and this is the Bad Movie Show. Good night.